Hi everybody, it's Alyce-Kay Ruckelshaus from Threshold of Hineni and the Widow Ruckelshaus, and I'm here to bind this journal and to show you how to do that. But first, I have to make an announcement before I forget. So I've had this channel for quite a while, and I've been doing like crafting and Bible stuff, and that's been kind of confusing for people. So I just started a new channel for just crafting. It only has one video on it so far. When I do the flip through of this journal, it'll be on that channel, and the video that's up there right now is really good to watch before doing the flip through of this, because it's about how I choose magazines and what pieces of magazines to cut out and save to use in journals. So this has a lot of magazine stuff in it. So that'll be appropriate to watch that and then watch the flip through of this. So today though, we're going to bind it, and I have a bunch of stuff to put inside of it. So depending on how our time looks, I may go ahead and put some of those goodies inside of it while we're here too. Okay, so, but I haven't made this in front of you all, so, you know, I don't feel like you have to see me put all that stuff in there. So we'll just see. I'll definitely show it in the flip through. So this is a journal that I've used just a lot of really miscellaneous things, but the cool thing about it is that it's a guided journal. So we have here a life-changing impact begins with you, and then all through it I have different prompts for, you know, thinking about your life and goals and stuff like that. So we're not going to really talk about that right now, but I am going to kind of just go through it really quickly without talking about it, just to get it all set up, because that's part of what I do when I bind a journal. Is I go through, I want to make sure at that point that I've got the pages in the way that I want them. I want to make sure that it's set up so that it's right in the middle. I want to make sure that, you know, I've got papers that are, some are small, some are big, and that I have those in the right place in the cover. So just really quickly going through, and making sure that everything's right side up. That's kind of important. This is a fabric page. I'm looking forward to doing more of those. So yeah, so I will put a link to my new channel below. I think I'll have that flipped out while I do this, while I bind it. That's one thing, is I like to look for, see, things that come close to the middle. If they can flip out, it's just better to flip them out so that you don't risk getting those caught in the binding. Okay, so now this I want to be caught in the binding. Yeah, so there's that one video up there so far that you can watch, and I'm planning to do, I just have been cleaning out my craft room, and I've come across a lot of cool stuff, and so I'm really looking forward to doing some journals, and so I'm gonna video, you know, everything that I do on those for some, oh, this is in, it's glued in, yeah, so for some like tutorials and craft with me and that kind of thing. But I'm also planning to do reviews of materials and stuff that I buy. Like I just recently bought some sea glass, and so I will review that. I've been holding that review for my new channel. And so yeah, I think that's just gonna make it a lot easier. And you know, if you want both, if you want the Bible stuff and the crafting stuff, then just subscribe to both channels, and then it'll be kind of like, you know, it has all been, like it's been all along, with everything being on one channel, because you'll get notifications from both of them if you hit subscribe and then hit the bell. So, and this one I used a lot of a Franken roll that I put together. So there's a lot of Franken paper type of stuff in it. I like this journal. I think it's really cool. Okay, does that flip out? Yeah, let's flip that out. Okay, oh, I love this. Isn't that pretty? This is a fabric page too. And then these are pockets on here. Okay, good. Okay, so we're ready. So we're ready to bind, and I keep all my binding materials in one place. This is a box that I think I got from Yuri, my friend Yuri, and I think she sent me some candied ginger or something in it. Anyway, it's just the perfect size, and it's just, it really helps if you keep all of your binding stuff together. So what I have here is I have some leather I don't know what you call it, leather, I want to say leather thong, but that sounds funny. And then I have some more leather thong here, and that's, oops, it's not all wound up right. But that's probably what we're going to use. I think that the color of this goes really well with the colors that I have with the journal. So we'll use this, but I'll just show you what else I have. And then this is baker's twine, and I actually have a few different colors. I just need to put them all in here. And this works really well too. There's also waxed linen, which I don't have, but I'm going to get some because I think that sounds really good. And then I have these little book binders. And you want the big ones. You want the biggest ones you can find. I think there's ones that are even bigger than this, and if I could get those, I would. But so far I've got these ones, and I've got like 20 of them, so that's probably what I'll be sticking to. And you want to get them ready. Go ahead and clip them back like that, so that they're ready for you to just open. Grab them with one hand and open them. And then you also need an awl. And I'll link all these things below so that you can just find them really easily. This one I got at Walmart. It's really cheap. I want to replace it. There's one that has like a bulb at the end, a wooden bulb. That's the one that I want because it would just be so much easier for holding on to and for distributing your weight as you're pressing down, because you have to press down really hard. And then you also need needles, big needles like crewel embroidery needles. Okay, so I love this little holder. I had been using a really rusty one, and everybody was like, just buy some new needles. They're not expensive. And I found that holder, and I loved it. So I like things that make me feel good, and those make me feel good. Okay, so then the other thing that you're going to need is something to protect your desk. And I use this piece of wood that my husband got me from, this was some of the outside of our house, and this was a little extra that was left over. And it's just perfect because it's got this little cradle part that I can just put the book in. But another thing that a lot of people use is like a paperback book or an old catalog with the cover taken off, and that works really well too. So you just want something that's at least, I'd say like at least 3/4 of an inch thick, so that you don't have your needle go through and hit the, or the awl go through and hit the your desk, okay, because you don't want to be making a bunch of pits in your desk. All right, so what we do first is we're going to measure out our binding cord. Now I always like to have danglies at the bottom of mine, so I do 4 times the length of the, or the height of the book. Okay, so I'm going to go, and I actually do a little bit over. See how I've got a little bit sticking out right here? So I go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can see I'm doing actually more than just that 4. And it works best with fabric scissors for this. I'm going to keep my scissors out, and I'm going to put this away. Okay, so then I'm going to put this through a needle. Where are my needles? There's my needle. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and thread this through a needle. And you don't want to do it like so that it's half and half. You just want to have like enough through so that you're not going to lose it when you start sewing. Okay, then we're going to set that aside too. Okay, so then the next thing that we need to do, this is really, really important, you guys, that you do this part right, is you want to find the center of the book. Oops, come on. Here we go. The center of the book. Okay, and you want to make sure that's pushed in really hard against the spine of the book. Okay, and I'm going to get this just a little bit more centered here. There we go. Okay, so it's pushed in against the spine of the book. Then you're going to use your clips on the top and the bottom of both sides. Okay, and it's kind of, wow, these are new clips, so they're kind of hard to open. You want to, there we go. Clip it in there, but clip it so that you've still got your pages pushed into the spine really, really hard. Why doesn't this one stay on? Okay, here we go. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side here, and again pushing into the spine. Now I'm not flipping it open because that will pull it away from the spine. I want to have it closed because that's how you want it to line up when you bind it. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, I see we're not getting the pages. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to just flip it over so I can get this side. And again, I'm going to have to be careful not to get that button because it would probably tear the button off, which is, you know, I can just glue it back on. It's not the end of the world. But okay, again, pushing your pages in so that they're against the spine. I'm going to put this one up here. There we go. And try to have your book as closed as you can have it while you do that. These are really hard to open all the way with one hand because they're new. Okay, there we go. I ordered a big bag of them. Okay, so we've got those all clipped. All right, so that's going to hold the paper in place. We're still not going to open it very far. We want to keep it, you know, kind of closed like that. Okay, and then I always have to stand up for this part. Okay, this is where you're going to use your awl. So you're going to get whatever it is that you're using to hold this in place. And it's easier for me if I put it a little bit at an angle like that. So here's what it's looking like inside there. Okay, and I'm going to take my awl and I'm going to go right in the center. I'm going to close this up as much as I can. And I'm going to push it down really, really hard until I feel that it's gone all the way through the book, hopefully, or at least as far as I can get it to go. Sometimes I can't get it to go all the way through the book. Okay, and then keep your fingers out of the way so that you're not going to, you know, have it go through your finger or your hand or something, but you see it coming through right here? Okay, so there we go, and I try to make it go through right to that. And see, I don't have it exactly in the center. In fact, I'm off quite a bit, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's truly, truly okay. Okay, and then I'm going to go, now this comes just up to here, so I'm going to go a little bit down from that, like right here. I don't want it right up at the top of that page because it'll tear. So I'm going to have it down here. So it's going to be right here. And again, pushing through. Oops, I think I got in there crooked. Okay, let's go in again because I want to go through straight. Okay, and then I come over here and put my fingers so that I know that it's not going to go through my hand, because you guys, it'll sometimes go through really fast. All of a sudden it'll go through really hard and you're pushing it really, really hard, and then all of a sudden it goes through fast. You do not want that to go through your hand. Now, I live right by the hospital, so that's okay. No, not really. All right, so then I'm going to have it go through here, and I'm going to push down here again. All right, and then this is really, really a thick book, so it's hard to push it through the pages, but I've got it. Okay, so we've got our holes. Whew. Now leave your clips on. Okay, now this one has come off, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull that off. It's okay. But the other clips are still on, and I want to keep them on. Okay, and I can put this away. All right, so now what I'm ready for is my needle and the leather. Okay, you don't need to tie any knots or anything. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through the center, and you're going to go through that middle hole there, okay? And then come out. Wow, that was easy. Sometimes it's a lot harder to get it through, but this time it was easy. And then sometimes I have to wiggle it a bit to get it to come all the way through. And don't worry about that. You know, I'm making a little bit of a hole here, and that's okay. It's, you know, once you're done, you don't notice it, but I'm going to be covering this with lace anyway, so it really doesn't matter if I make kind of a big hole. Ugh. Sometimes it's harder than others to pull it through. I thought this one was going to be easy because it went through easy at the beginning. This is when you don't want to put lotion on your hands. Okay, now I want to make sure that I leave enough dangling here at the bottom for my dangles, and I leave it longer than I'm going to want to because I've got to have enough to tie with and everything. So I'm going to leave it about that long. That's what, like maybe 6 inches or so long. Okay, then I'm going to go up through the top one. Okay, and I want to make sure that I go straight through that hole. So I'm going to leave this closed as long as I can until I know that I've got the needle through. Yep, I've got the needle coming through the right place. Oh, so then I'm gonna push it through. Let me see if I can, no, that won't help. Okay, it's a little awkward on camera because I'm trying to make sure that you guys can see what's going on. But you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna wiggle it and pull it through. It's like your journal is giving birth. Sometimes I wish I could have a hammer or something to push it through. Let's see if this will help at all. Okay, so I'm pushing it through. I can see the end of that needle. Come on. You can do it. One more push. Sorry if I'm giving you guys labor trauma here. Oh, come on. And sometimes, this is hard physically, but it's not hard, like, it's not complicated. So it's not, I don't think that binding is difficult. Some people really are afraid the first time they do it. Well, I was scared the first time that I was going to bind. In fact, I made like 3 or 4 journals before I actually bound one. I made a bunch of them and then I stopped because I was afraid of binding it. Sometimes it goes through really easy, y'all. And it might help if you put soap on it or something. Come on. Wish I could like put something through the hole to help pull it up. Okay, so if it gets really hard, then what I do, I can go ahead and take the clip off at this point, I think, off one side. Okay, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to see where it's getting stuck. Because sometimes it works just to bring it up through a little bit at a time, if that's the problem. Yep, so see, I pulled it away there, and I'm going to pull just a few of the pages down on it. Well, that's where it's having problems. What's going on? Oh, it's the fabric. It's the fabric page that's making it so hard. Okay, so I'm going to just pull the fabric through. Okay, this is the first time that I've done a fabric page, and I really like the page, but I'll tell you what, guys, it's making it, or girls probably, it's making it really hard to get this to go through, this needle. It doesn't like that. Oh, come on. So once I get this through, I'm going to have to like make sure that all my pages are in the right place against the spine again. All right, let's do this. I hate doing this, but we are going to do it just through this one page here. So I'm going to go just through this one page, not through any of the paper pages. Okay, so it's just hard because I've got this fabric page. So you guys, for your first journal, don't do a fabric page, because that's tough for the binding. It didn't really occur to me that that would be difficult. All right, now I'm having a hard time finding the needle. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to bring the needle through there. Okay, and I've had some problems before where I've had really hard paper, so I've kind of had to do this too, but usually it's not this difficult. Okay, so now I've got to find my way through all these pages and the holes. And I want it to go all the way through to the center, so let's find that. Okay, there we go. And we're going to go straight up through the holes here. Okay. That's through some of them. Now we've got to go through the rest. There we go. So that's what's hard about it, you guys, was the fabric page that I had this time, which I don't normally have in my books. Well, it's going to have a hard time coming up through something else here too, you guys. I think this is the hardest time I've ever had finding a book. This is crazy. But it's kind of good for you to see so that you can see like how to kind of jimmy it through, figure out where it's stuck. Where are you stuck? There we go. Okay, there we go. Now it's going to come through. Come on. I know you can do it. Okay, there we go. All right, so then we're going to go out to the outside. We want to make sure that's pulled snug. Okay, now it's going to get hard again. Okay, so now we're going to go through the same hole that we went through at the very beginning that's in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to go part way through and then part way through. And we know now that that fabric part is really difficult. Oh, there's a little loop that it's made, so we need to pull this. There we go. Okay, so we know that that's going to be our difficult part. Oops, I pulled the needle out, so I've got to get it all the way through all that again. Okay, so then let's bring it all the way through all the paper part so we can deal with the fabric by itself. Come on. I know you can do it. You've done it before. Okay, but see, this is where we've got some coming through from before too, because we're going through this same hole the second time. I wonder if I could get through here to pull through. Nope, I'm afraid I'd end up. There we go. Okay, that did work. Okay, so I'm pulling that through until I feel it pulling snug. And I'm going to go through this fabric again because that's difficult. Let me see if I can work a little bit bigger hole in the fabric. Can I maybe cut it a little bit without cutting the leather? Because this is like, I don't know, 3 or 4 layers of fabric. So it's hard to go through it, obviously. All right, let's see how difficult a time we have pulling it through. Oh, that came through really nicely. Okay. Good. So then I'm pulling it snug again. It's snug right here. Okay, and we can make adjustments to it. Okay, so then I'm going to go through the hole right here, and I'm just going to go through the pages to the fabric, and then I'll go through the fabric by itself. Pull that. Make sure that I get those out of there, out of the way. Now I'm just going to go through the fabric all by itself because it's caused so much trouble. Okay. Yeah. It's an awful lot to bring through a little hole in fabric. Okay, and then we can get this all through hopefully at once. We'll see. So this is the hardest time I've ever had with the journal. I don't want you to get scared and think that it's difficult to bind. It's just because of that fabric page. So for your first journal, I would not suggest doing a fabric page, because it's kind of difficult. Okay, and then we'll pull this through. Boy. I'm going to use this thing again. Okay, I'm going to remove this because I don't really need it on there anymore. I've got one still holding it in place, but I probably don't really even need that one. I'm going to try pulling this up like I did with that other one. See if I can do it without an emergency room visit. Oh. All right, what's going on here? It's good though, you guys, when you see something that's difficult. If everything went perfect when we were doing this, then you wouldn't know what to do when you run into a problem on a journal. So I always think that it's good. You know, there's this part of me that goes, oh, okay, I should edit this and take out, you know, how long it's taking to do this. But no, I want you guys to see the reality. I want you to see how to handle difficulties. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to make sure that this is pulled up snug. Now I don't want to pull it too tight because it'll tear right through the paper, believe it or not, after having to go through all that. Okay, so this is nice and snug here. See, it's nice and snug. Okay, and I'm going to make it snug here. Now you can see there's nothing here yet. Okay, so I'm going to take this part here as my dangling part. I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see the whole thing. Okay, and this is the most complicated part. It's not complicated at all. Okay, you take your needle and you take it underneath this one, being really careful not to jab your paper. Okay, and then, really simple, you just tie a knot. Look at that. Is that cool or what? And then I like to do what I learned from Gail Augustinelli, is I like to get a little bit of lace edging, if I can find the end of a piece here. Come on, you guys. There we go. I like to get like, I don't know, maybe 2 inches, I guess, of lace edging. Cut it like this, and then tie it in the middle of the knot. And I'm not going to do this right now because I'm going to go through and put fillers in. But what I do after, you know, like when I can let it sit tonight, is I will put just a little drop of glue right here on the knot and leave it sitting open so it can dry it that way. Okay. All right. Then I can take off my needle. All right. And oh, I don't have my beads chosen yet. So I make little danglies on the bottom here, and I will do that in a separate recording, but it will be on my new channel. Okay. So I'll have that on there on how to make the new danglies. But in the meantime, because it'd just be kind of fun, let's go through and put in the things that I've already made to go in here so I know what tags and other goodies I need to put in. Okay, so first though I'm going to get my little can and I'm going to get all this put away, because right now I'm working on cleaning my craft room, and most of the mess is from stuff that I didn't put away right away because I was on camera. Well, let's just work together on getting into a good habit of putting everything away so that everything is in its place and our craft room is nice and neat and we can find stuff when we want it. Because you know what, you guys, I found so much paper. I don't need to buy any paper for journals for a long time because of all the stuff that I found in my craft room. Okay. And it just takes a minute to put away, but I'll tell you what, it takes hours and hours to clean up your craft room if you don't put it away. So it's worth taking a little bit of time just to do that. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's put all this stuff back in here, and then I'll get my basket of little things that I've made to go in it. Now these aren't all the things that I'm going to have, but I just spent a little bit of time, a couple days, making things. So here's one that says, I have found the one whom my soul loves, Song of Solomon. Okay, so I have some places that are going to be just perfect for little booklets. And we'll put this in one of those, like a, yeah, like this, like a belly band. And that's going to need something else too. Let's give it a little spot of color. Okay, I've got another little booklet here. Oops, that's 2 booklets. And this one has a little bit of lace and some satin. Did I sew this shut? Yes, I did. So I just sewed these ones on the sewing machine. Can you see the stitching? It's just coffee dyed paper that I folded in half. I cut and folded in half, and then I just sewed some sari silk and a little bit of lace on there. So let's put that in here. And then I've got another one here. This one's kind of a fold over one. Oh, it's just one piece. Okay, and I folded it like that. So that's kind of cool and pretty. So let's find another. This would be a good place for that. I made several little booklet things. Okay, so now let's go towards the back so that we don't have all of those at the front. Here's another belly band, so that would be good. It's got the sari silk there, so that looks really nice with it. And this little thing here. So this is just some of my fabric ribbon that I've got, and again, it's just sewn down the middle. Coffee dyed paper. I like this piece because I've got that piece from the thread on it. And then I've got this. So let's find another place that would work really well for. Here we go, there's a belly band. Okay. Then I've got, this is an envelope, but it opens up so you could write inside, or you can glue it just right here and here. Just glue it and then it'll be an envelope. So let's see. Kind of like to put it in something where it'll show, oh I know, I've got a corner piece here someplace. No, that's right there. Let's take that one out. Let's put this right here. I think that's pretty. And oh, this can go right here. Perfect. Okay. I kind of move things around as I'm doing it. So this is made from a Kleenex box. I one day sat down and filled up a whole shoebox bin with cutting up Kleenex boxes. Okay, that'd go really well there with the blue. Okay, I've got a guest check. I think I'm going to set that aside because I think I want to decorate it some with stamping or something. Let's see here. I've got a lot of prompts in here, so I don't want to put too much stuff. I want to leave plenty of room to just write. But where I do have places I want to use quite a few of them. See, now I've got like envelopes that stuff can be put into, but I'll leave that for the recipient to put stuff into. What is this? Okay, so this is, okay, so those aren't tags. Do I have, is this a, this is an envelope, I guess. Yeah, so that's an envelope, so we could put that right here. Okay, so that's all that I've got. Well, I've got two more small ones. Let's find places for these. And then I'm going to be making some other tags and stuff. I've got this sari silk all throughout, so it goes really well with those. Another envelope. Is this a, yeah, that's a belly band. Okay. All right, so that's all that we're going to do today. I'm going to put my glue in the center of that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do this in front of you or on video, but I'm going to take some lace here, and I'm going to glue it on the front and on the back, so it'll cover this up, and it'll actually glue that in place. Okay, so that's it. So now you've seen how to bind it. You saw a great trial that I went through binding this, but that's really good so that you can see how to solve those problems. And I'll remember to click on the link below for my new channel and go ahead and subscribe there and hit the bell so that you get all the videos. All right, I love you all. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.